Oh, well, oh dear. Who's this? Oh, well, good evening. My name is Ernest Pickle, and I thought I was coming here to talk to a young friend of mine, but it appears I've got trapped in some kind of uh, live stream thing, which my cap's all wrong. Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, yes. Anyway, I'm just going to go into the kitchen and sort something out with Mother because she doesn't like the noise. If I make too much noise, she doesn't like it. Okay. Get back in your room, Mother, for goodness sake. Oh, goodness. No. Nothing's coming to get you. No, Norman's not coming round. No. It's okay. Can I watch the dancing now? Thank you. Well, hello there. I don't know what happened there. It's bizarre. Good evening, everyone. Hello there. How are we? Had a premiere. I'm full of headache. I'm not feeling 100%. I'm not. Don't worry. It's not the health ailments that befell me earlier in the year. I am quite healthy. I've just got a slight headache for some strange reason. So hopefully it'll clear up and I'll be fine tomorrow. If you were on my premiere of my new project a couple of minutes ago, then I thank you for watching that. And yeah, I've got myself a Rover 75 Connoisseur SE 2-litre CDTI from Thomas Daniel, who is a Beardy Bonus channel member. So I must say hello to him, along with the other channel members as well. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this project. It's quite exciting. I'm going to have a look at some of the comments already. Pingu Concord is here. Good evening, sir. The rather uneventful Adventures of Stickman, who is normally known as Matt, is also here. Good evening, Matt. Smashing Pistons, that fine channel of excellence and eclecticism, if that's the right word, is here. Good evening, Simon, my good friend. How are you? And he says, here's the lowdown on the Cars dog. That's so something. Yeah, we'll worry about that later. And Matt says, how very street wise of you, because of course Matt refers to the fact that 2024 is the year of the Streetwise, and the year of the Streetwise campaign has actually sold its first merch today. I've managed to dispatch 4 stickers in the post with an actual stamp on, and the stamp's got a. Do you know, the last time I bought stamps, they had, which is the Queen's head, and I bought a book of second-class stamps today, still with the Queen's head on because they haven't caught up, and it got with the new barcodes on. So I was quite excited in a very sad, geeky kind of way. More on that in a minute. Simon says, wiki woo to you too. And Juju is here. The lovely Julie is here also. Hello, with a accent. Oh God, this is how uneducated I've become in the last several years, because you could put an accent over the fifth from right, sorry, O. And I cannot remember for the life of me if it's a grave or an aigu. Perhaps tell me. Simon says something to Matt. Pingu says something about hashtag ride streetwise. I like that. That could go very well with the Yachts 24 campaign. Now, Yachts 24 is a topic for tonight. Not to discuss right now, just have it in your minds. Yachts 24. I want to think about Festival Unexceptional, which I was at on Saturday. I want to talk about the crankcases that is Simon and my new channel. Obviously, we just film it. The people in it are actors called Norman Butler and Ernest Pickle. And also, I had a news flash on my phone earlier saying that Volvo are going to stop making estate cars next year, which saddens me deeply. Anyway, back to the comments. You can digest that while I read these. People say hello to one another, and then Simon says, "This isn't the stream you're looking for." It is. Watch this stream, like this stream, subscribe to my channel, because you probably already do because you're here. But make sure you hit like, because likes are lovely. That thumbs up is, oh, it feels nice. Oh, I sound like Ernest now, don't I? And Bad Book says, "Evening, Ernest. Ernest was Ernest on this live stream? I can't believe that for a minute." And Mark, anyway, it's nice you're here. Good evening to you, sir. And Pinky says, "Well, I don't really know Deirdre. The Deirdre glasses have not come out for a while, and maybe if you want the Deirdre glasses to come out, then tell me, because I will get them out. The Deirdre glasses, that is." So, that guy from SETI Alpha 5, who I don't think has been on one of these live streams before. If he has, I apologise, but it says, "Hello, sir. First time here." And it is. Hello to you, SETI. That guy from SETI Alpha 5. It's really good to have you here. My friend Tom is here saying hello. Hello, Tom. How are you? Matt says hello again, Rob, which you don't need to say because I know my name's Rob. That's silly, Matt. Where should we go? Where are we? Pingu Concord says, "Mother wants some Norman action." Yeah, I think having watched some the Crankcases videos now, and obviously not having been a part of them in any way, shape, or form, that there was something between Norman and Ernest's mother. I think there might have been an entanglement there because Ernest's mother apparently asks for Norman a lot. Make of that what you will. Tom says, "Love the new 75. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, the 75 was an unexpected project brought from Tom in South Wales, who I don't know that well because we've only met very briefly at Pride of Longbridge, but we've sort of corresponded since then. And the street to put it in context, so my streetwise Penny, the lovely Penny, was based in this area, round Aylesbury, for men. I put my glasses back down. It's probably why I'm getting headaches. I have to keep taking them off to read. Age thing. Yeah, so Penny was based in the Aylesbury area, bought the day before Pride of Longbridge by Tom. And then Tom sold it to a chap who I won't name because he's not part of any of this. It's not his thing. He can't see it. He mustn't see it. And then I bought it from this chap. And then Tom bought, and Tom, if you're here, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you sold that streetwise to get that 75. And then I saw a little Facebook post from Tom a couple of weeks ago selling his 75, and I was like, I'm having that. So I got in touch and I got it collected, and there it is. And it's a decent car. It needs some work. I don't know what you've been doing on those seats, Tom, but maybe I don't want to know. But I'm joking because I know it wasn't you who made them filthy like that. Yeah, but someone has made those seats very, very dirty indeed. We might have Norman Ernest checking that car for STDs at some point. But yeah, thank you, Tom. And Simon encourages everyone to send me a warm hug. Thank you. Stephen S. Paul is here. Hello, Stephen S. Paul. I enjoyed your comments on a couple of my videos. I think it was my FOTU videos over the weekend. Yeah, festival, nothing to someone like Stephen S. Paul, where every day is a festival of the unexceptional and potentially unexplained. But good evening to you, sir. Simon says Smashing Pistons SE equals some extras. You never know if you're lucky. Thomas Daniel, purveyor of Rover 7. Actually, Thomas Daniel is purveyor of cars, the Beards and Bangers fleet, because the last 2 cars I bought have been owned by Tom. Not necessarily I bought them from him, only one, the 75. But so Tom can actually have a royal beard. And you can put like a beard logo on anything you are involved with to say that you're by appointment to the bearded person. I don't know. Maybe that's not a thing. But Tom says 2 cars for me this year, as I've just alluded to. Shocking. It's now a bad time to mention I have an MGTF, which, for fuck's sake, Tom, what is wrong with you, boy? I'm going to have a little holiday in South Wales before, and I can smoke on this live stream because I've demonetized it, because I got feedback from mainly Matt and Simon, who are the 2 people I probably know the best on these streams, because my friends, and they said, "What the fuck are you doing having adverts?" So I've demonetized it. I'm not monetizing live streams. I didn't know you could actually turn it off or on, so I can smoke. I can actually smoke on this live stream because it's not going to get demonetized, and I don't care. Right. Anyway, Thomas Daniel, who lives in South Wales, which is the bit north of Cornwall for English people, has got an MGTF, which she'll be parting with soon. If he wants MGTF, I don't. I've just got rid of one, so I've had my little ride had my little go in an MGTF this year, and I'm quite happy. And then Pingu follows that up by saying, hug, 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 huggy, hug, hug, hug. Pingu, if you were here, as long as it wouldn't damage your little wings, because they're so small and delicate. The stick man, long man, Matt _ it's just Matt. It's just, if you see the name, the rather uneventful adventures of Stickman, it's Matt, who is the most smashing bloke anyone could ever care to meet. And I've met some others of you, so that's not a denigration of our friendship or acquaintance, but Matt is terrific, and Matt is leading thoroughly the Yachts 24 campaign, which I shall come back to in a minute. But yeah, so Matt, who is that long named person on this chat, says if you fit air suspension to the 75, it could be a Conair. And then Matt, who's such a great bloke, comes up with jokes like that, which is what you want from someone like Matt. Julie says, maybe wearing sunglasses will help the headache situation, Rob. Also hug. And to you, Julie, too. Simon lols at Tom, and also comments at Matt. Stephen S. Paul says something about penguins, which is obviously directed at Pingu. Obs. And Simon, yes. That's just jumped. Where's it gone? What have we done here? I have just jumped all the comments, and I've actually just realized I've got it on top chat rather than live chat. Do you know, I used to be really good with computers, but I'm not anymore. They're quite complicated these days. Right, where the flip have I done with these comments? Right, so Simon, Smashing Pistons, says 2024 yachts. It's actually hashtag yachts 24, but smart minor point, Simon. Don't want to have to say again. Is the new Barbie next year? It will be. I mean, everyone's going to buy pink shit this Christmas, but this time next year, people will be buying trophy blue shit and Goodwood green shit and trophy yellow shit and Olympic shit, all that kind of stuff. Because everyone this time next year, it's going to be all about the streetwise. And you'll have 7-year-old girls. I guarantee you, going up to their dad and going, "I want to buy a streetwise because they're so cool." And that's why we're doing Yachts 24. It's not, but oh. Pingu says, "I think Rob, that's me, needs some help with his 75 fetish. It's getting out of control. This is the first 75 I've ever bought because I've only ever owned MGZTs, and they are a different car ish." Matt says hashtag Yachts24 is actually now a real thing. We don't know quite what yet. We don't. But it's going to be enjoyable finding out. Don't miss out on hashtag Yachts24. Don't miss out on it. My friend Matt Dickens made us some stickers, and I have sold the first 4 stickers today for Yachts24 because we've got a Facebook group. It's called 2024 Year of the Streetwise, and people can buy stickers and they can interact with Norman and Ernest and all sorts of stuff. It's brilliant. It's a thing, Matt. It's a thing. I'm gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to register it as charity, I think, legally, because we're now taking money, which is my fault because I started taking money. But if it becomes the official Streetwise Owners UK club, is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I think it's good. A new participant who's called 2024 is the year of the streetwise says accent grave, but it was intentional. All right, I'm guessing I know who 2024 year of the streetwise is now. Yeah. Stu says no Volvo. How could you? How could Volvo Estate is like it's an institution. It's not ours because we're not Swedish, but Volvo Estate is like a thing. And they've taken it away. What the flip are they playing at? Do they think they're going to actually sell SUVs for the next 10 years? For me, SUVs are like gin. Because gin was a massive... I'm pointing a lighter at you. Gin was a massively popular thing 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And every pub, even a little country pub in the middle of nowhere, had gin's popular. Let's open a gin bar. And every distillery or brewery in the country went, gin's popular. Let's actually buy a distillation kit and start making gin. And now look at gin. Gin's gone. Gin has gone. Everyone's drinking rum. So this SUV drug that everyone's got themselves on is going to go. And people like Volvo are bonkers. If BMW, Mercedes stop making saloons, I will eat my hat because they are normally the sensible brands. Our beloved brand is gone. MG Rover's gone. They can't interact. MG Motor UK, bollocks to them, I say. Getting in a saloon's lovely. Getting in the States, lovely. A tourer. It's the year of the tourer, and fucking Volvo cancel estates. I don't feel well. I've got a splitting headache. I feel slightly sick. Goddamn Volvo for doing this while I feel like that because it makes me fucking mad. Rant over. Where did I get to? Sorry, I got a little bit cross then, didn't I? I'm gonna have some wine now because, dearie me. And that guy from SETI Alpha 5 says, a world without a Volvo estate car is like a world without James Bond. Just know. Yes, I nearly cried when I read about the Volvo estate. And I did cry when James Bond, if you haven't watched the last James Bond film, I cried at the end. Because, yeah, that can't happen. Simon, Smashing Pistons, excellent channel. Volvo not making estate cars is like Volvo not making diesel engine. Oh, yeah. All right. Bad Book says, Mark says, be great to get your streetwise on the actual Yatchet. Is that how you say that word, Mark? Yatchet for 2024. I will try and get my streetwise on the Yatchet for that year. That's good. Ross is in the house. Word up. Yeah, whatever you do. I'm sorry about your teddy. That was, watching that other channel that friends of mine and Simon have got, and your teddy bear got pissed. I can only apologise. But Ross says, "Hail, g'day, Rob. G'day, Ross and Ernest. Does the new steed have a name? Not yet. I have left naming that car with my trusted friend, colleague, and sparring partner, Simon, because he's good at that kind of shit. Simon is good at that shit. He really is. Matt says, excellent idea, Bad Books. Blah, 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 blah. People saying hello to Ross, and Ross in turn says hello, says, hey, Sex Panther, which could be to anyone in this live stream. But I'm guessing he means Simon, because SP is Simon's channel initials, Smashing Pistons. Matt's doing that thing with, oh, hug, thanks. Yeah, and you got it in as well. I think that's the thing. Is that a thing? Getting like one letter in and then fucking scream. What's wrong with it? Getting one letter in and not getting interrupted. You did it, Matt. Hug. I'll give you a hug. Obviously, I can't give you a hug in real life because I physically cannot reach. You're too tall. Where did we get to? Mark, who is called Bad Books, if you don't know what's going on here, says, ridiculous of Volvo. Mate got a brand new XC90 diesel averaging 33 mpg on a 65 mile each way gentle commute. That's decent for a car of that bulk, surely. Pingu says, you will be getting unexpectedly busy with another 75 project. It's a light project because the person who sold it to me was far too honest and said it was, battered to fuck. And Thomas Daniel, if you're still here, which you are, because you've got a comment down there, you're very honest. You're a very honest. You Thomas, are a very honest young man. Anyway, well, enough of that. Stephen S. Paul says something back to Stickman, who's actually called Matt. People saying hello to blah blah blah. Then Dinosaur Ross says number 27 channel doing a live at the moment, but B&B wins. Thanks, mate. Mark says, get some H2O down you to help recover your headache. I have had a lot of water today, and it's not worked. I think it could be because my eyesight is shocking, and I keep having to take my glasses off to read stuff, and then so I'm doing that all day. I don't think that's good, but I'll let the optician tell me. But thank you, Mark, for your concern. I will have some more water shortly. Simon says Rover 75s are the next big thing, as well as the previous big thing. I do. Serious point. I do think that the MGZs are getting, especially the higher performance models, are getting well known and getting kind of sought after. The 75 I've got is a Connie SE, so it's got all the bells and whistles that a later 75 Connie SE will have. But just looking at the eBay listings, the asking price is getting higher, which tells me the values are getting higher. Whether what they're selling for could be a different thing, but which it will be. But yeah, lovely. Tom says, well, the seats are mismatching for a start. The driver's seat is a very early one with an embossed head. I've not even looked at that yet. I missed that on my. You're a very observant young man. Um, and Simon says, "Lol, Tom is the BNB paid intern." In theory, yes. In theory, in some way. So, Tom, what are you going to sell me next? Come on, what's coming up from Wales? Now that we've got the 75 this way, what's coming back to Aylesbury? Pingu says, I have a couple of boxes of 75 interior trim parts you can have for your project if you want. Yes, please. Thank you, Pingu. You're very helpful with that kind of thing. Thank you. Matt says, which is the long name, long man. I won't explain that anymore. So if you're joining after this point, then Matt is the long named one. And that's not SETI Alpha 5 guy, because that's someone else. My cars only had a temporary name, in brackets, Hope. But I think, I know where this is going. With Matt, you know where something this is going. But I think I should now officially name it Bob Hope. Open to criticism. Matt, with stuff like that, obviously, you've got to be. Tom's MGTF is a lowly 1.6, which some people prefer. Doesn't even have remote locking. Well, you don't need that in Wales, do you? But Simon says, at Tom, what colour is it? Which, Tom, that's a buying signal. So you can't... Now you supply to people like me. You can supply to Simon as well, because Simon likes it. It's important we get a good supply. But Tom retorts to Simon saying, "Has a hard top though." Oops. So has a hard on. Tom, you're a young man. There you are, YouTube. Shouldn't smell. It makes me cough. Tom said, and I should read this now seriously, has a hard on though. Oops, sorry, hard top. We like hard ons on this channel. Dear me. It's better. Where are we? Where? Oh, Austin Carter felt. Oh, bollocks. I've skipped some fucking comments. Fucking computers. Where the hell has it gone? My God, I have jumped a lot. MG Johnson says, please open up the comment section, B&B. I think I have, dear boy. I don't know what else I can do. The comments are on like full Monty, which means people can swear and say naughty things. We'll see how it goes. Right, God bloody hell, I've really skipped some there. Matt says, the man of 1,000 names, some of them usable in public, but yeah. 2024 year of the Streetwise, who I think could be une femme française, says, I hope Boaty likes my new name. I'm sure he will. Simon says, we do need to give Matt massive kudos for pretty much raising Yachts 24 from the ground. He has. Matt, just Matt. That's his name. None of this bullshit is Matt. Matthew Harrison, top bloke, will do anything for anyone. Has got Yachts 24 off the ground, kind of got us organised, and then we kind of just paying it forward from there. So, Matt, I thank you for that. And I think Simon does as well, given his comment. And Matt says, obviously not having heard my word, obviously it's going to be a far more emotional response to what I've just said. But we'll just read your bit now, Simon. That's just made my day. And I've fitted silver indicator bulbs and a heater resistor today. So you've definitely impressed me. 2024, year of the Streetwise. 2024 is the year of the Streetwise. If you haven't got a Streetwise, get one now, because by this time next year, they'll be the values will be off the radar. Tom says, "You sound like my granddad. Ace at Windows 7, bought a bit for Windows 11. I'm not as old as your granddad, dear boy, but I think it's more the YouTube that I struggle with. So I can make videos and upload them and kind of. I hope I present a good video, open to criticism, but but at the actual mechanics, all this gubbinsery and this live stream and StreamYard and all this stuff, I really do struggle with. I have to be honest. So yeah, but I'm not as old as your granddad. I really hope I'm not as old as your granddad, because if I am, then you lot start really early in Wales. Matt says 2024 is the year of the Streetwise, and it is. MG John, send a comment and I'll get to it in a sec. Because well, hang on a sec. If you open the comments, I can't read this, so the comments are open. I don't know. I just don't know. Apologies, John, if this isn't working. Matt says, apologies for the name wrong first time. Don't know what you're referring to. Never mind. Tom says, I have Goodwood green shit. I like Goodwood green. It's a rare colour. Do you know, I was at Festival of the Unexceptional on Saturday. And that name for a car show is completely inaccurate, because there were loads of really good cars there. There were some beige Sierras and there were some beige Escort Estates and stuff like that, which are unexceptional cars. But it was huge, and there were Wasps. It was like, oh my god, there's another Wasp. Oh my god, another Wasp. Blah 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 blah. But it was great. It was a huge show. Penny got a lot of comments. I only filmed for about an hour, and then I did what I do. You've seen my videos, hopefully. If you haven't, then shame on you. I did my hour's worth of content, and then I stuck with my car. I did have had lunch with Mike from Classic Wheels Wales, and had a few chats with him throughout the day. But yeah, I stayed with my car, and the amount of people coming up going, "Oh my god, look, a street!" I'll do that more. That's better. Oh my god, look, a Streetwise! And what color is that? Genuinely, I got that on Saturday a lot. So yeah, it's brilliant. And then Tom says something about anthracite to Simon, which I don't know what that's about. Oh, that's the MGT. So Tom's MGTF is anthracite, which is a nice color on an MG. Stephen S. says, in short, everyone's going to be buying shit. Hopefully so, yes. And Simon says the car industry is making him sad, which I think it's making a lot of people sad. EVs, yeah, scrapyard full of them in 10 years' time, if not sooner. SUVs everywhere, where's the Aspirate? What a pit! You're buying a car now. You go and buy a car on the Never Never, which is what a lot of people do, I think. You bollocks yourself in debt for God knows how long, buying a Kia. I don't know what's a Kia. What's the latest Kia called? A Kia bollocks. You buy a Kia bollocks, and then you pay your bill in 5 years' time, and then you got to scrap your car. You buy a Rover 75 now, for between £1,000 and £3,000. Obviously, if it's a 1.8 turbo in Wedgwood Blue, it's worth far more, clearly. And then you sell it in 10 years' time for 10 grand. That makes more sense, surely. Anyway. So then Simon goes on to say, what's next? Ford stop making the Fiesta. That's a very good comment from Simon, because you've got a car that sold loads for 40 something years. I forget how old the Fiesta exactly is, but it's over 40 years Fiestas have been going, and you stop it and people are still buying them. It's only Droopy Doris who wants to look, massive on the school run, buying the SUV. What's the big Ford? The Ford Cougar. I can't spell it right. Bad books like my Volvo estate rant, blinking Chinese. Hey, MG Rover, make a car. MG, let's start making MGs again. Let's start making them so that our dealer network, and there is a dealer network of MG in the UK for these new fangled MGs, their OBD readers cannot read the faults on the older MGs. You've got MG6, GS, older MG3. Go to your local MG Motor UK dealership. They can't read the faults, so they can't tell you what's wrong with your car. So bollocks, utter bollocks. That guy, I'm actually quite cross. It could be the headache. It could be the, I don't know what it is. But I actually feel quite towards the car industry right now. That guy from SETI Alpha 5 says the last James Bond film was a piece of $4 IT. Yes, it was. Stephen S. Paul says, I love SUVs. Bigger body shell means bigger lumps of scrap. Yeah, for you, it's okay. It's more to weigh in. And you'll probably get, we'll probably get really green incentive in the UK in 10 years' time when all these electric cars are scrap because they're useless. And we'll ship them on a great big diesel chuffing ship, huge one, one that really gets Greenpeace going. And we'll ship them to Arizona or New Mexico. Well, I forget where you are, Stephen, exactly. Sorry, I know it's out that way. And we'll chuff out all this carbon, and then you can go and scrap them. That's what will happen, because that's what we do in Britain. That's what the British government do. We need to solve this problem. Let's put everything on a huge carbon emitting ship and scrap it somewhere else. Let's send some nuclear waste somewhere. Blah. Simon says, what's the best rum? I like Kraken. I like Woods. I like Woods Navy rum. And speaking of wood, if anyone wants to join this channel as a member, then you can do so. Tom Daniel joined as a beardy bonus member only a few days ago. I don't know why I got wooden members kind of associated in my head, but if I make it too obvious, it's too obvious. Matt just spreads the word of Yachts 24, Simon. You guys deserve the credit. No, Matt, you deserve the credit. I think it was you and Pingu who started. And look. Now, I've got my little pack of envelopes here. I've got my pack of stickers, which I'll have to order some more of soon. And I'm just running my little legs to the post office every 5 minutes with a packet with an old Queen stamp with a barcode on. I haven't bought stamps for a long time. And people are receptive. So Yachts 24 is a thing. It really is. Where did we get to? Austin's here. I think I said hello to Austin. Hello, mate. How are you? Simon says. Simon's saying something to Matt, so I'm not going to read that. Tom Herver says, I like to be straightforward when selling cars. If there's issues, I'll tell people. Been stung myself in the past. Haven't we all? And you were very honest, Tom, with selling me that 75, because you were trying to put me off, it felt, which I actually like. Simon says hello to Austin. Austin's a ledge. Austin is kind of an unseen face of Beards and Bangers, because he does a lot of the stuff that I have no ability or inclination to do, and the magic happens, and then I present it to you on camera. So Austin deserves, and you're not getting any money for this, Austin, by the way. Austin deserves a lot of kudos. and he's a very, very, very he's a very, very, very nice man. He's a very, very, very good mechanic, given he's only 19 years of age. Now, I'm sure you won't mind me saying that, but you know a lot, young man. Young man. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's these laptops that've got a keyboard and a touchscreen. It just confuses me. I'll calm down. I'm on one, aren't I? I'm a little bit grumpy tonight. It's because I've not driven Penny today. That's what it is. Where we are. There we are. Juge, sorry, 2024 is the year of the Streetwise, who say in Femme Française says something to Matt, and Matt replies, Thomas says MGTF 1.6. Listen, you advertise. Do you know, I've taken the adverts off this live stream, and then Tom's bloody starting again, advertising his TF. I'm only joking, Tom. You can advertise your TF here if you want, because you never know. You might find a buyer. Ross says, there's a pressure point on the hand between the thumb and the forefinger. Squeezing it for a bit gets rid of my headache every time. Between the thumb and the forefinger. So like there, around there somewhere. And I don't want to get this mixed up. I'm going to do this while I'm talking to you. I'll just try not to get it mixed up with the orgasm one, because that would be embarrassing, or alluring, depending on your point of view. Simon says, because I jokingly said buying signal about Tom earlier, say buying signal, laughing face. I have a TF. Simon does have a TF, a lovely TF called Margaret. What I've driven like. But Mark says to Simon, you can never have enough TFs. Look at Boaty. Perhaps you can have enough TFs. Mark then goes on to say to Simon from Smashing Pistons, I'm the same. More than 3 cars would be a pain in the ass. It is, especially when they're working, because then you've got a lot of tax and insurance to pay. Pingu says, and I echo this sentiment, in Matt we trust. Anyone else is just a floaty boaty. There we are. Simon's at his limit. Whether that's with this live stream or not, I don't know, but we can digress. Austin Carter Fell says, and I'm guessing this is an invitation for me to talk about your new car, young man. Austin says, what did you think of my new car, Rob? Well, Austin, my dear boy, I really like your new car. And I think I can be as bold as to induct you into Yachts 24, because Austin Carter Fell has, lady and gentlemen, I think it is actually, this is actually lady. Julie's obviously a lady, and the rest of you are men. Anyway, yeah, I digress. So I was thinking of niceties then. Austin has gone and bought himself a Streetwise, and the eagle-eyed, there's one very eagle-eyed person on this live stream, and that person's name is Matthew Harrison, or to give him his full name, the rather uneventful Adventures Stickman, because he spotted, because when I filmed the reveal video of my 75, I caught the rear near side quarter of Austin Streetwise in it, and I didn't really want to do that. And it's only watching the premiere back about an hour ago that I spotted what I'd done. So sorry, Austin, but Austin has got a Streetwise. So yeah, and Austin's got a sticker as well. Assuming, Austin, you meant the Streetwise, unless you bought another car in the last few days that I don't know about, in which case I'd be equally as excited. But yeah. And Pingu says, nice work on the photo coverage, by the way, Sir Rob. Thank you. I'm trying my best. Uh, it's a serious thing, and I we've got a kind of we've got a little committee of which there's four of us, and we've already had approaches. And I will be completely open and honest. We've had approaches from very well respected car clubs asking us for involvement at next year's shows, like FOTU, Festival International, like Pride of Longbridge. So from little acorns do big streetwises grow, and that is a well-known saying. Where did we get to? Simon says, what was the castle like? I only saw the outside. It had big turrets. But I was looking at the cars. I didn't really look at the castle. It's probably something, yeah. Lord Pilkington of Glass or something owned the castle. I don't give a fuck about people like that, to be honest. But very impressive car, lovely grounds, lovely, massive driveway. I mean, literally, we had to say, if you were showing your car at FOTU, which I was, and I got there really early, so I was going to have to queue for like an hour, like Joseph and Mark on motoring and people that did numpties. Get there. If you boys watch this back, Joseph Lloyd, Mark Parr, get there early. Then you get in early and you don't get covered in wasps. But it's a 3-mile drive. It's this back road in the middle of nowhere to the back of this castle. It was 3 miles long. I clocked it. Ridiculous. Massive landed estate. Very impressive. And the main driveway, like the park drive up to this car, is where this castle is, where all the cars are. And that was huge as well. And I was the only streetwise there. Next year, I'm going to FOTU, but I want to go with streetwise mates. I don't want to be the only one there. No, I don't mind being the only one there because I'm a big boy. I can look after myself. But let's have a fucking lineup of streetwise. It's all in a line. Never mind this bollocks of Sierra Sapphires and Fiat Puntos and all, Protons and all that kind of shit. Line of streetwises, please, next year, gentlemen and ladies, in case anyone else is watching who's a lady. Maybe I should do more live streams when I got a headache and feel a bit shit, because I just feel a bit more. On Saturday, I'm unexpectedly meeting up with Simon because I found some car parts from God knows where up in the north, like north of Simon and Matt, well north, and it probably even north of Project Nigel. And I'm going to go and collect them. Then I'm going to meet my mates, Simon and Matt, on the way back because we've got some stuff to do, like sticker trading. Now, I know a lot of you don't like football, but if anyone does, do you remember when I was a kid in the 80s, I had a Panini football album. You used to buy my dad used to buy me like 2 packets of stickers a week. And the ones you hadn't got, you stuck in your book. And the ones you had already, you swapped with your friends at school on in the week. There should be a car version of that. Someone can take that. I don't want anything to do with it. Someone can take that and make a fortune from it. But it'd be good. Where are we? So Tom says, I'm glad it got some attention. It was ignored at POL. I'm surprised, Tom. It certainly stood out to me, that car. Mainly because you and I had a chat before we drove in, because we were both early to POL. But I think a Streetwise will stand out more in a field of Volvos and Sierras and Puntos and Renault. What was there a lot of? Citroen BX, a lot of Citroen BXs at FOTU. So I think the Streetwise certainly stood out there. Whereas at POL it wouldn't do because it's just another it is essentially just another Rover R3 platform. So I don't think that's a negative thing. I think POL is a friendly place. And I think if we can get a lineup of Streetwises, we need to get a better pluralization of that word. Streetwises just sounds ineffectual and wrong. Then yeah, they will stand out more. But I wouldn't say that was a negative, Tom, at all. Juju, sorry, the person called 2024 Years of the Streetwise is changing their name because they don't feel worthy of it. And they call Matt the Yachts 2024 King. And Matt is like I guess he's the chairman. I think actually we're probably quorate on this live stream. I think all the committee members are here. So unless anyone disagrees, I think Matt should be elected chairman of Yachts 24 without further ado. It's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? You bang your gavel. Stephen S. Paul puts dollar signs into Streetwise, which he's not far wrong because this time next year, Rodney. Matt asked me if I checked the pollen filter on Penny. Mine was disgusting. I'll get Austin to do that. Tom says, hopefully the car industry, this is Tom HT, sorry, not Tom D, says, hopefully the car industry going SUV crazy will encourage even more people to keep more classic and MG Rovers on the road. I think it will. Park a 75 or a ZT up next to a Kia shitbox. Is that what I think? That's one of their new names. And they just look nicer. They're prettier. Jaguar S-Type looks nice. Jaguar S-Type looks nicer than an SUV. Jaguar X-Type looks nicer than an SUV. Let's be honest about it. But Tom HT's only SUV experience was a hired Toyota Yaris hybrid, and I absolutely hated it. I'm not surprised. It sounds absolutely horrible. Tom says, "Oh, Rob, collected the 75 replacement on Sunday, a 2.2 diesel Avensis estate." Tom, that's not an unalluring prospect. Something it depends on the year of the Avensis, but the earlier Avensi, if that's the correct blah blah blah. Yeah, there's something about they could tick over into desirable, I think, at some point. Mark says, between me, he says you can read you, but he means me. Between me, Simon and Boaty, there will be no Rovers left to buy. I think Boaty and his chum Mustard are probably buying more than I am at the moment, despite Boaty's jokes earlier in the year that I was buying a 3.37 cars per day, which never has been true. Tom advertised his car. I've been following Tom's progress as I had been since he sold the Street, or since he bought the Streetwise, and I was just keen to, help out with that car. Simon says Ford have lost the plot recently. The new Puma is not a Puma. I've not even seen the new Puma. I probably have no desire to. And the old Pumas. I don't know if I was with you, Simon, or when I saw Simone at the old Ford show. There was, I don't know, 6 Pumas lined up in the top car park at Gaydon, and they look good. They just, they're like, that's like an early 2000s little coupe that's really quite nice. Matt says, no, I think you deserve to be called Year of the Streetwise for the sheer You can't call me. My name's Rob. You can't call me Year of the Streetwise. I'm not gonna. Oh, you know, you're not talking to me. Anyway, moving on. Simon says at Babbies, don't forget Pete Spires. He's a Rover legend. He is. I saw his maestro. I think I said to him on Saturday. I said, Pete, God, didn't realise you had a maestro as well. He's obviously got his lovely gold 25, which I think if you watch one of Simon's videos, there's a lovely sequence of film where Simon's following Pete up to this moor near Project Nigel's, and he's got his red one as well. Which, yeah, the guy is, you know, he turns himself out immaculately and turns his cars out immaculately as well. So, yeah, he is a Rover legend. He is indeed. Stu sums it up. SUVs are shite. And I won't even read the last part of your comment because it's unnecessary. Spanish doesn't come into it. SUVs are shite in colloquial Anglo-Saxon. So there we are. And I've just spotted someone on the chat who I'm very, very pleased is here. Where have I keep jumping these comments? Blimey. Blimey. Look at all these comments. I need to start reading some comments. Oh God. Right, there we are. Jolale. Oh God, I can't even read that. Oh bugger, I just changed it. I don't know if it'll let me change it back. I hope it does because I can't even read that, let alone pronounce it. Juju. And Simon says tonight is Rob Angstream. It kind of is. Do you know, I've got the I'm not a Telegraph reader because it's not my side of the fence, I'll be honest. But my mother gets the Telegraph, and she subscribes to the Telegraph, so she gets a digital subscription which she doesn't use, so she let me have it. The news is good in the Telegraph. It's not inaccurate largely. And I got an alert just before this live stream saying Volvo stopping making SUVs. I read the article. I was like, fuck. It just put me in a worse mood than I already was in, to be honest. Stephen S. Paul just crushed some 2-3-year-old Kia Stingers already. Yeah, not surprised. Hopefully the batteries didn't go bang. Matt says, I think it's brilliant how people are prepared to show us some support for Yachts 24. I think they are. And I think I think like with a lot of MG Rover product, people don't realise what they've got. You know, I've joked before, you know, you driving along and you flash someone in a Rover 75 and they're like, why is he flashing me? Because it's just the car they've had for 20 years and it's just a car. So the more people we can convert, you know, realize what they've got, the better. So if anyone out there, you know, please spread the word of Yachts 24. Please, it's not, and this isn't an indulgent thing by any means. The Streetwise is a seriously underappreciated and underrated car. I know of one that this person's not on my radar. You know, they're in North Oxfordshire, so I shall be camping outside their house and sort of having braziers and stuff outside, and you know, making sure they're converted. But seriously, if you know of a Streetwise out there, if you know someone who's got one and they're not on Facebook or not on YouTube, put them in touch with me. You know, Simon's got my contact details. Austin's got my contact details. Tom's got my contact details. Matt's got my, you know, get them in touch with one of us. Simon, me, Matt, Pingu. Get them in touch with one of us, and we will help them, because the Streetwise is a fantastic car. It really is. Comments, a lot of comments. Need to get through them. Must do it now. And Simon says, of course, Pingu has pushed it forwards as well. There's only me who's lagging behind. Yeah, get your ass in gear, Simon. For goodness sake, stop buying Rover 216s with engine jam. No, Simon's 216 project. There'll be some footage on that coming up this week, I think. Simon, correct me if I'm wrong. That's a great project, and I'm looking forward to seeing it because it's a early R3 in British Racing Green or Brooklands Green, whichever colour it is. Head gasket failure. Well, it's a 1.6. That's slightly unusual, and Simon's going to get back on the road, which is brilliant. Juju is stuck with the username that doesn't make sense for 2 weeks. Tompi. Matt says Pingu floaty boaty, which means nothing to me personally. Mark says to Stephen S. Paul, is a Kia Stinger an EV and easily written off? I think you've answered your own question there, Mark. Stephen S. Paul says, I love hydrocarbons. ICE is the way to go. Simon asserts that Austin is another BNB paid intern. He kind of is, yes. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Matt says paid intern. That's definitely a Southern thing. Yeah, it's actually not a thing at all because you can't be a paid intern. An intern works for free. Well, certainly in the USA. Stephen S. Paul will correct me if I'm wrong. Mark says driven or ridden Penny. I do, but it's one and the same thing. If I'm in Penny's lap, which is commonly known as the driver's seat, then it can go either way. But I tell you what, and the series is about to get hot on Penny. We've got some explicit footage of illicit happenings under Penny's bonnet. And hopefully by the end of this week, which means the content can get filmed next week, Penny will take a giant lurch forward. But I shall say no more because I don't want to tease you, but I don't want to kind of leave you in the dark as well. Austin, keep quiet. Simon says, Juji says Rob and Simon are headache and grumpiness twin stay. Hug to both. I think it's because we're contemplating the next steps for our new joint channel, which I will blatantly plug now because I can. It's my live stream. At our new joint channel, The Crankcases. If you haven't already watched that, then why not? It's hilariously funny, said the local paper around here and others. We had some good feedback on The Crankcases. So yeah, we maybe film something on Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, which if it comes off, we'll make good viewing for all of you. Yeah, I don't know. I woke up with a headache. I was sick this morning. I think it's because I haven't got Penny here. Penny's not with me, and when I'm apart from her, I just have this. I don't know what it is. Massive fuel bill because I'm driving the ZT 190. That's what it is. That's what I have. Stephen S. Paul replies to Mark. Matt says, "Call me premature," but I wouldn't know. That's very intimate. Oh, sorry. But I'm claiming 2030 as the year of the internal combustion engine. Hashtag Yotis. I like that. Even though we have to change that to 2035 because the British government, sensing that electric cars are pretty crap, have put the deadline back now to 2035. So it could be we have Yotis in 2035, Matt, but I think we have Yotis in 2050. Personally, I think we'll still have regular diesel and petrol on the forecourts in 2050. Not that I'll probably care by then. Simon says, I just saw a notification that Boaty was live 30 minutes ago. Well, I hope he's still alive. Yeah. Matt says, I look It looked a very tidy streetwise relating to it. We only saw a corner, and I'm not going to spoil Austin's party because it's Austin's party. But then Matt goes on to say Austin Street. It could be an Austin Streetwise. It's not an inappropriate name. And Simon, in his welcoming, Simon's got a lovely hug. If you ever get the chance to give Simon a hug, if you have got a beard, ladies, then be careful because it can become entwined. But yeah, Simon gives a very good hug, and he embraces virtually Austin, saying, "Welcome to the fold, Austin. Now you may never leave ever." Ha 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 ha. Devil face, even though Simon doesn't actually own a Streetwise himself, but he still envelops Austin in his embrace, which is lovely, quite frankly. Austin then says, "Yes, just the Streetwise, mate. This is to me. Yeah, and no stress about filming it. It ain't no secret." Well, it's not now, is it? You got no choice in that, son. Yeah, but no, Austin's got a Streetwise. I'm sure we will see it at events in 2024 when it's revealed, driving through a great big picture of Michael Barrymore with fireworks going off and stuff like that. It'd be lovely. Stu says, perhaps it's time to look at Auto Trader for a Streetwise. Don't stop at Auto Trader, my son. Look at Facebook Marketplace, and just make sure when you go on Facebook Marketplace and you're looking at cars, don't ask, "Oh, hello, I like the look of your car. Can I come and see it?" Just ask them, "What's your best price, mate?" Because people on Facebook love that. They really love that. It's a great thing to do. I encourage anyone looking for a car on Facebook, just text someone you don't know saying, "What's your best price, mate?" And you will end up with a good deal. I promise you. No, don't do that, because that's what knobheads do. Just say, "Can I look at your car, please? Because it's really nice." That's the way nice people do it. And we have another visitor to the live stream. We have what you can see on your screen, Classic Wheels Wales, what I know as Mike. And he says, "Hey, Rob, nice buy. Thank you. Hello, humans. Hello, Mike." Matt says, "Phew," or "pew. I'm glad he's mentioned that car clubs have shown interest in us. I've been grinning like a Cheshire cat and didn't want to tell anyone until it was announced properly. Hashtag Yachts24. It's a thing. It is a thing. It's a fucking thing, Matt. We sell it. I've sold stickers. I've sold 4 stickers today. 4. Simon says hello to Mike. And Mike refers to the humans as hello, saying hello, all 4 of them. Pingu is up for a Streetwise convoy for next year's FOTU with my 2 streeties. Yeah, Pingu's got 2 streeties. Now that is, having 1, you're part of it. Having 2, you are like the daddy of Streetwise. Having none, but having a Rover 216 project, it's nearly as good, Simon. It's nearly as good. Matt says, FOTU, which is Festival of the Unexceptional for those who don't know and have been under a rock for the last 2 weeks. POL, which is Pride of Longbridge, same reasons, and the Post Abingdon Weekender are currently the big ones for next year. And do you know what? Having been to a number of car shows this year, that'll probably do, to be honest. But Matt Back goes on to say, but the aim is to get as many Streetwises at as many shows as possible. And I commend that statement to the house. Then Mike says Liverpool YNWA, which I have no idea what that means because I'm from the south and I'm a namby-pamby hummus-eating person, so I don't know what that kind of thing means. Something. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Simon says, FOTU, I might have Jenny ready for that or not. I think you will. I shall have a look at Jenny if there's time on Saturday, if that's all right, Simon. Matt congratulates Pingu on his ownership of 2 Streetwises. Tom says it doesn't help. I was parked 2 cars up from Project Night. Yeah, and that's not. You should have parked near me, and then no fucker would have seen you. Tom bought the Streetwise from Aylesbury the day before Pride of Longbridge. I would have actually inquired about that car had it not been for going to Pride of Longbridge and trying to get my 260 up there. And I think Austin might correct me if he's still here. I think I collected my 260 2 days before Pride of Longbridge from the workshop. We weren't quite sure if it would get there or not, but it did. It was just when it got back, it misbehaved. But yeah, Tom was there. So I was waiting outside the gates of Cofton Park in Longbridge, Birmingham. And this young man pulls up in this green Streetwise. And I was like, I recognise that registration plate. I got chatting to him. I was like, you bought this from Aylesbury yesterday, didn't you? He was like, yeah, I did. How'd you know that? And yeah, this world of ours, this little world, is very small. The world's small. The world as a whole is small, but the world when you start buying and getting enthusiastic about Rovers and MGs and stuff like that, it's even smaller. And you end up knowing. I think you end up knowing everyone. Where did we get to? Simon, you're right. He was hidden in a tent, but everyone's still. It's Nigel. Simon says a group of Streetwise should be a crucial. Yeah. Don't know if that's the right signal. Pingy says Chairman Stickman. I concur. So that Matt is duly elected chairman of Yachts 24. Excellent. We shall divide up the other roles later on. Gigi says, how much does Streetwise cost roughly? I've seen them advertised at 400 quid, which is basically a scrap value one. I've seen one go up this week for 1800. What they're really worth, I don't know. It's what someone's prepared to pay. Plus, you've got loads of 1.4 Streetwises, which are the most common. You've got very, very few 1.6, very, very few 1.8, and the 1.8 only came as a step speed automatic. I don't want to go Joseph Lloyd here, but I'm feeling like I'm about to. And then you've got some 2-litre diesels as well, which is what Penny is. So the diesels and the 1.4s are probably the most. 1.4 is the most common. 2-litre diesels probably next, and then the 1.6 and the 1.8 automatic. Good luck looking for one of those. But if anyone knows anyone with a 1.6 Streetwise or a 1.8 step Streetwise, they need to get in touch with me ASAP because they're important people, even though they may not realise it right now. Tom says it's an 06 plate relating to your TF, I hope. If I've got that wrong, I apologise. Mike says a group of Streetwise should be scrapped. Fuck off. I love you. The comments have skipped again. The fucking things. Where did we get to? Mike's controversial comment about Streetwise being scrapped, which is absolute bollocks. And only a tosser would say something like that, I have to say. Simon calls Mike a cad. I wouldn't call him that. Mike's a really good bloke. Mike saved me from buying an £11 hot dog at Festival etc. because he had some lovely sandwiches in his trunk. And Mike is not an elephant. I mean, in his trunk as in his car. And he fed me, and it was lovely. Thank you for that, Mike. But don't ever say Streetwise should be scrapped ever again. You can ply me with sourdough all you like, but it won't happen. Stephen S. Paul is writing this as I'm unloading a 2012 Fisker Karma from the truck. No idea what one of those is. You could have made that up, and I wouldn't know. Do tell us. Do tell us what a Fisker Karma is. Matt interjects with some values of Streetwise Eye for Juju, saying between 500 and 1795. That's probably about the spread on the various wank places to buy cars, which they are, aren't they? So I'm trying to sell my BRM, as you know, which I'm now having had a day of reflection. I'm now thinking, ooh, do I again? But I spent 2 hours with a professional photographer because I'm going to put it up for sale with Car and Classic, and that's not just like send your selfies to eBay. It's like we'll take photographs and do it properly. So we'll see. More on my BRM another day. Mark says something to Mike. And Juju, thanks Matt, which is everyone should thank Matt, even if they've not met him or dealt with him. Just thank Matt because Matt is he's one of those people. He's just there and does stuff, and you can easily take Matt's for granted, and no one, it's almost as if Matt is kind of laid behind a door and is a doormat, and you shouldn't ever let a mat become a doormat because that is wrong. That guy from Setting Alpha 5 says Ford lost the plot. Yeah. When they decided to get rid of Fiestas, Mondeos, and Focuses. Yeah. They're going to hybrid crap boxes. We have an electric Mustang here, and it's gayer than Julian Clary. Don't let Ernest hear you say that because he'll get very upset. He loves Julian Clary, and so does Ernest's mother. But yeah, what is it me? Or is this SUV electric thing just a fad? It has to be. It has to be. It makes no sense. Simon references the Nigel Meat version 4 Pizza Top guy. Yes. So that's when you follow Pete up onto the moors, which sounds kind of like a start of a police drama. I followed him up to the moors and I didn't come back. That kind of thing. Pingu has a news flash for us. Newsflash. Boaty has been captured by a gang of infidel caravans. Just as a 7-minute live pleading for sympathy. Right. Moving on from that. Infidel caravan. No, I'm thinking about that now. Matt says, but the cost of a streetwise is insignificant when you're buying happiness. Just to put a caveat on this, when you buy a streetwise, you're not necessarily buying happiness because you could be buying problems. So do your checks. Go around the back of the car, check the exhaust pipe for STDs, go through the usual thorough. If you're buying an MG Rover, what you'd normally do. But once you've got a streetwise and it's in fine fettle, and even if it's in slightly below fine fettle, like average fettle, you will be happy. This is why Matt's our chairman, because he comes up with it's the philosophy. Where did we get to? Simon says Joel is pronounced Julie. Okay. I can't see it myself. Pingu says, well, it's always funny to see Boaty in predicament. No crash this time, though. Although he's got a new ride, I see. He's gone for a 45 2-litre V6, which, I guess he's over 50, so it's probably okay for him to try one of those, I would say. Mark says, Pete Maestro is from the Isle of Wight. Unusual story, which I've forgotten. Not called Bad for Nout. Well, I saw Pete's Maestro on Saturday, and it is lovely. Ross says, isn't it ironic how the new car transport ships go on fire caused by electric car batteries? Yeah, but you won't see too much about that in mainstream media. Just saying. Simon says Streetwise have been too long under the radar, and it's time they too their light. It's Streetwise have been too long under the radar, and it's time they too their light. Still doesn't make sense, but I know what Simon's saying. It's time that the Streetwise came out of the shadows into the light. Matt says, yeah, that's mad at the minute, Ross. Barely any news coverage here, though, apparently. Yeah, because no one wants you to know about it because it's bad news about electric cars. Pingu says, do you remember a few months ago before you got streety fever, I offered you my Streetwise? I don't remember. I get offered quite a lot of cars. People come up to me in dark alleyways going, do you want to buy a car? And most of the time I say no and run away. Pingu, if you did, I apologise. But if anyone has a City Rover and tries to offer me that, I will not. There's no way I will accept that. And that is cast iron concrete. Pingu, apologies. Simon talking to other people. Matt says, I think a new exhaust is going to be our next purchase if the clutch holds out. In which case, the clutch will be your next purchase, Matthew. Poor Simon, this is again Matt. Poor Simon is the victim of all my crankcases content suggestions. I'd like to think I have some crankcases content suggestions myself, being one of the protagonists. But yeah, we shall see how yours play out, Matt. I've got my own idea, which you may or may not be aware of, but I shall say no more about that because I think it's going to be fucking hilarious. Mark says, worrying that your Penny and Simon's Margaret both named after the Tories. Do you know what? Penny is named after Penny Mordaunt. I'll make no secret of it. And I look past her politics mainly because I can't see past her breasts. Simple as that. Just saying. In case anyone goes I'm sexist or whatever the word is these days. Tom says there's about 450 miles of fuel in the 75. Get it fixed and drive that. I said it in the video, Tom. It's like, blimey, it's like 3/4 of a tank in here. That's generous. To be fair, if I sell a car, I never leave it really empty like some people do. Like have it on the red line and then sell it. That is just tight. I really hate that. Matt says, oh, I didn't know there. Yes, 23rd will be the inaugural Yotis. Yes. So Yotis 2035. Put it in your diaries now, if you're able to. And if you're confident, that 2035 will be the year of the internal combustion engine. And we shall drive through London. We shall all get fined for not paying the ULEZ. And we shall stick it up. Sadiq Khan might be the mayor then. But yeah. Where did we get to? And Ross, I'll read this out, even though it's directed at Mark. Ross says, hopefully the 75 won't be called Boris. No chance. My new 75 is definitely a female, and won't be named after a Tory. There we are. Okay, so it's not going to be Teresa or Pretty or any of those names like that. All right. Matt says Simon's commandeered his Streetwise as the Smashing Pistons representative. Fair enough. What you do in the north amongst yourselves is up to you. Just don't come to me when it all goes wrong. Ross says, Mark says to Ross, that it will go cock if it is. It will not. It's not. I'm not calling it Boris. Let alone what was the other one called? Liz. Oh God, Jesus. Tom says, guess I'd better get my £200 Streetwise resurrected from the dead. Then, yes, you had, young man. That car needs to be on the road next year, and make no mistake about it. Stu says, you never walk alone. Of course, sorry. Yes, Liverpool, you never walk alone. Very good. Simon says, here's a thought. Maybe we can try and get someone to enter a Streetwise in the MG ZR race series. Same one the Montego with the ZR running gear is in. Yeah. Could be Penny. Matt likes that. And ask Simon. He's asking this to Simon. He's not asking me because I own a car called Jennifer Juniper. Is Jennifer Juniper getting Streetwise roof bars? Simon, answer that, please. And he does straight away. No, she's going to be more race than. Ooh, I shan't read that out. I shall let you read that if you want to. Because Simon's maybe alluding to future content on his channel. I just dropped a cigarette, which is fucking annoying. Oh, it's down there. I'll get another one. Where did we get to? Blah, blah, blah. Mike obviously does like what I just said. I probably said tosser or cunt or something, and Mike loves that kind of stuff. So, Michael. Matt likes useful. Matt is useful. Soft drinks, good ideas, chairmanships of blue chip charities. I guess we can call ourselves that now because we've made like 20 quid today. Simon's going to tell Matt something this weekend. Could be anything. Pingu says Rover Joe needs an honourable mention for blatantly ignoring Hubnut as he drove into FOTU whilst the infidels were filming. P.S. Mine's a 1.6S. Oh, yes, you Pingu, you have got a 1.6, haven't you? You sly old fox. Right, I shall be in touch with you privately, dear boy. And yeah, ignoring Hubnut. Or as we should now call him, Mullet. Yeah, top mark. I briefly saw Joe on Saturday. I didn't have much of a chance to chat to him because he was like right up. He was like 2 miles from where I was parked. Literally 2 miles from where I was parked. So, but yeah, no, I shall shake Joe's hand next time I see him for that. Matt says, I bought a few problems. Don't bring problems, Matt. Bring solutions. But I hoped I'd have time to raise money and fix them before the car died, hence the name Hope, Bob Hope. Blah, blah, boom, boom. Electric Blue is the only electric car I need. Exactly. Electric Blue, Streetwise, which Matt has. Juju says, Rob. Oh, fuck. Comments. Juju says, Rob, my silly username should sound like the letters Julie, but I'm French and I failed. You can also pronounce it Juju or potato face or potato face. Or should it actually be visage de pomme de terre? Maybe? I don't know. Who am I to say such things? Pingu says, having jumped in and manoeuvred several cars today, the street was by far the most fun, including my son's Impreza, which has been MOT today and is released into the wild. Your son's been released. Is the son your son, or his Impreza, or the Streetwise has been released? We're not clear from that comment, Pingu. Which we look out for, which is if you release something, it's generally there's an element of risk involved. But I think I know where you're going with that. Matt follows up on Rover Joe. Rover Joe is not here. Rover Joe sometimes joins these, but he's obviously doing some ironing tonight, something like that. Rover Joe also does a shout out for me for me now, having a clean pollen filter. Watch the video on heater resistor replacement. And he suggests change the pollen filter at the same time. Yeah, because they're both behind the glove box, so it makes sense to, while your hand's in that crevice, to get your fingers in and give it a good Dewberry flip flop and sort all those bits out. Matt says, I love the content of Crankcases so far and the channel. Thank you. Simon and I are doing our best. It's early days. If you haven't already looked at, I'm not saying subscribe, because you may look at it and go, what a huge pile of steaming wank. Or you could find it incredibly funny. But Simon and I have some ideas, and we've done our best so far. So if you haven't already watched the Crankcases, then please do. It's more fun making it than it is watching it, I have to say. But don't let that put you off. But it's quite funny. Yeah, we may I may end up getting punched at some point, but it's art. These things happen. You have to suffer for art. Thank you, Matt. Anyway, for that. Boaty's Matt goes on to say, Matt's writing an essay here. Boaty's new car is running with the fuel light on already. Well, he said last night. That doesn't surprise me. But you shouldn't run cars with the fuel lights on, because it's not really a good idea with an older car. But I'll let you turn that, man. Stephen S. Paul says, I'm now getting into my new daily driver, an orange SUV, a 2003 Pontiac Aztec, or Arstec, as I call it, 376,000 miles, and the piece of shit still going. Yeah, that's probably a proper SUV, because SUV means sports utility vehicle, right? Right. So 4-wheel drive, certain features, that means it can traverse rugged terrain and such like. Matt's saying something I don't understand. Simon asked Stephen S. Paul about something with the car from Breaking Bad. Pingu thinks that I should call my new 75 Kate after the rather dirty girl I knew at uni. What about when I've cleaned her, Pingu? What do I call her then? Definitely a girl. Definitely a female car. It's a Connie SE 75 diesel. It's not a man. And I don't care if people go, oh, you can't call the car a gender because of blah, 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 blah. It's got a female vibe. End of. Stephen S. Paul retorts to Simon. Tom says it should be on the road fairly soon. Its current 1.4 is not well and is being ripped out in place of a 1.8 with 135 cams. I admire you, sir, for doing that. If it keeps that car on the road, not monetizing their channels, I can do this. Sorry, not monetizing the video. Too many complaints from Matt, Simon. Where did we get to? Oh, this is. Do you know what? I felt like shit earlier, but doing this live stream actually made me feel better, because I think maybe I just needed to have a bit of a rant and a vent, and maybe it's just talking to you lot, not literally, because obviously we're not talking. Where did we get to? Simon's saying stuff to Stephen S. Paul, which we shall let Stephen S. Paul answer himself, because I do not answer for anyone. Matt says, hilarious watching it being made. And Matt actually witnessed series 2 of Crankcases being made. And was a jolly good sport, I have to say. But the real good sport was Adam, who's also called Pure Evil. who's not here, but he'll turn up in about, what is it? It's 35 minutes past 10. So I reckon Adam's going to turn up because I want to finish this at about 11 so I can go to bed, being honest. I reckon Adam will turn up at 22:50. We'll see if I'm right. He might not turn up at all. He might think, Rob's a wanker. But yeah, no, Matt's a good sport. Pingu's son in his Impreza has been released onto the road today thanks to Direct Line. PS, other money grabbing organizations are all available. Yeah. Young son, Impreza, it's not going to be cheap. And Pingu says something silent about an Impreza handling better compared to what I missed. Tuned up Forester. Yeah, and I'd say an Impreza is better. The Forester's different type of beast, I think, from my limited knowledge of Subaru. Julie agrees with Matt. The crankcase is super funny. Thank you, Julie. And Pingu says Katie with a halo. Katie? Oh, I quite like that. My official name of cars, who's basically called Simon from Smashing Pistons. What do you think of Katie as a name for the 75? I think it's actually rather nice. And Simone is here. Good evening, Simone. And Simon chips in immediately, greeting Simone. And people are saying hello to Simone, which is perfect. Piggy says also didn't Vettel, or Fettel as we should call him, used to call his championship winning Red Bull Kate's dirty sister. What is Kate's dirty sister called? Is it not called Pippa? Is that not the name? I'm sure it is. Who was the rear of the year at the royal wedding in 2011 or 2012, whenever it was? Kate's sister. I'm sure it's Pippa Middleton. Really nice bottom. People saying thank you. Simone saying thank you. Blah blah blah. Tom saying it's a bit of a rarity spec wise. Blue swirly pattern seats, parkers, and rear electric windows. That does sound like a rare streety. If we're still on about the streety, I'm sure you are. Must be an SC with that spec. I would suggest, but you never know. Bad Books fills Simon on something about Imprezas, which I shan't read because it's too much. Pure Evil. Oh, Adam, you're like 12 minutes earlier than I predicted. I thought you were going to come just before I finished the live stream, but you're here. Pure Evil, whose actual name is Adam. If you haven't watched series 2 of the Crankcases yet, then I suggest you do, because it's really good. And I would say that because I make it with Simon. But Adam was the cameraman, and he was brilliant. How anyone can hold Simon's phone, full stop, is beyond me. But no, Adam was using Simon's phone for filming because Simon's good at all the clever stuff with editing, and I'm not. Adam probably filmed us for about an hour, whilst Simon was being Norman and I was being a dick, and the results are really good. So thank you, Adam. You've got a job. You are now another unpaid intern. Welcome. But yes, I hope your ears have now been put out. Simon likes a legacy, don't we all? Oh, fuck, I've skipped again. Adam asks how everyone is. You can answer that yourselves. Matt says we need to get Adam's Rover Discord group. Sorry, Adam's Rover, then Discord being the platform, I think that's the right word to use, group up and running. Well, it's there, but it needs members. Definitely a worthwhile medium to use. I will have a go. I can't promise being any good at it myself, but yeah, get it up, Adam, get it up and running and invite us, and then I won't be able to work it until someone shows me, like you or Simon, someone good with computers. Bad book saying about Tura, because of course we're talking a lot about Yachts 24 tonight, but let's not forget that we're still only just over halfway through 2023, which is the year of the Tura. Which reminds me, I must get on with getting my Tura on the road. Simon says Katie is good. Katie Labon. Oui, sounds good to me. People say hello to Adam. Impeccable timing. Yes, Adam. Impeccable timing. I'm not up on Boaty's latest goings on, so I can't comment on that. And Simone says that I featured briefly in your new film, which I shall watch with. I was going to watch it anyway, but I'll definitely watch it now that I'm in it. No, thank you, Simone, for featuring me in your new film, which I shall watch. Matt is still well, which is good, despite the fact he's been on this live stream for the last hour and 40 minutes, plus the premiere, but my premiere before that. It's surprising that Matt is still well, putting it bluntly. Tom was referring to the Streetwise. Yes, much rather it was Diesel, but can't have it all. Yeah, I think the L series Streetwise are probably slightly harder to find the 1.4s, but unless you like Pinguin, you've got a rare beastie in your garage, like a 1.6. Adam has literally just got in. I've had the front right wheel and caliper off the car, trying to hunt down a squeaking noise, which it seems is coming from the other side when I was a test drive just now. Could be mice. Simone still needs to put her yachts sticker in her car. There's no rush. It's not 2024 yet. Matt believes that Smashing Pistons will be at the Motorist on Sunday. Hopefully, some of you can join him and himself there. I won't be there because I'm going to have a day's rest. I'm going to treat the Sabbath as a Sabbath. I'm going to have a roast dinner and everything and not be driving to car shows and back. So I'm going to be going out on Saturday. But yeah, if you are in the Leeds area or can get to the Leeds area fairly easily, then please get in touch with either Simon from Smashing Pistons or Matt, the rather uneventful Adventures of Stickman, or just Matt. And yeah, they're going to hopefully have a little small meet up, which would be nice. Simon's comment I've just read out. Pingy says the 1.6 is noticeably nippier than the 1.4, but neither would be a match for Penny's fine assets of power. Penny's, how can I put it? Yeah, I shan't spoil the series I've got coming up on YouTube. Adam will have to catch up. I've seen the first part of the most recent Crankcases episode. Went into full camera mode and didn't notice it was almost an hour. I believe I am the intern's intern. No, you're just an intern. Don't get ideas above your station, Adam. Intern's intern. What a load of nonsense. Matt says something further about their meetup on Sunday at the Motorist. Simone is filming a show on Sunday. If I find the street, I'll cover it for you. Thank you. And it's not just for me; it's for the whole of the Yachts 24 community, but please do. If anyone sees a Streetwise in any context, please try and speak to the owner. No, I'm not encouraging people to stalk people or sit outside their house until they open their Streetwise. If you do decide to do that, in a Mossad style, then that's fine. But I didn't ask you to do it. But yeah, we want to get as many people who own a Streetwise to realise they've got a Streetwise, which is something special, to join Yachts 24, then to have this massive lineup of Streetwises at shows next year. And Matt, so Motorist on Sunday, for those who can get to see Matt and Simon, it's cars and coffee. But don't put coffee in your car. And then Tom says, what's that now? 3 interns? I lose track. I lose track. And Rover Joe is here. Bloody hell. Someone, and it could be me, is a witch. Because we mentioned Adam, pure evil, and he appears as me. That was me, so I'm the witch on that one. Then someone else mentioned Rover Joe, poof, and these people appear. These young Yorkshiremen. Hang on. There's a pattern here. You mention these young Yorkshiremen's names, and they suddenly appear. It's as if they're watching you, which obviously are, because they're watching this. Hey up, Rover Joe. Hope you're doing good, mate. Adam says, surely being an intern's intern would be ideas below my station. I've no idea. I just don't know. Matt says, interestingly, has Hooked on Classics just unknowingly agreed to be our southern correspondent? I think potentially, Matt, yes. And I shall not say the word intern again because, I don't like the word intern. It just screams of White House. And I mean the White House, not Mary Whitehouse. Pingu says, I think the crankcases are awesome, but they blatantly let a nice little homely caravan to travel around in. I don't think Ernest's constitution would allow him to sleep in something like a caravan. He prefers bed and breakfasts and such like. But if you speak to the people, we can consider it. That's for sure. Tom was thinking giving his Streetwise wrapped. Not a fan of Starlight Silver. I know someone who is. But whether he's up for Yachts 24 is a different matter. But yeah, wrapping, Tom. I think wrapping a car is actually phenomenally expensive, and you could be better off just getting it resprayed. From what I know, I don't know. Maybe wrappings. You got someone who can wrap really cheaply. No, I'm not going to try and do wrap. Even a cheap wrap. Blah 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 blah. Everyone's saying hello to. Oh, flip's sake. Rover J. It's Rover. It is Rover J. He's here. And Matt, why we were talking about you earlier, Joe, because Matt says Rover Joe, the heater resistor video was extremely helpful, and that's because Matt not only changed his heater resistor, but also changed his cabin filter as well while he had his hand ferreting around in that crevice. So there we are. Simon is mentioning Gillian Anderson, and why wouldn't anyone? There's never a bad time to mention Gillian Anderson. Rover, I shall let you read Pingu's comment about you snubbing Hubnut. Good work. Matt says, yes, please, Simon. Don't know to what. I don't want to know. People saying hello to other people. And Simone says, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Lol. Relating to something I've just forgotten. Gillian Anderson, hopefully. Matt says, Rover Joe, my pollen filter was horrendous. Glad I watched the video and had the chance to order a filter before doing it. And this is why people like Rover Joe make YouTube videos to help people like Matt. In fact, that's possibly the only reason why Rover Joe. No, I'm joking. Where did we get to? Matt makes an inhaling joke about Bill Clinton. Tom says, not selling this one, haha. You just know. Why say that? You know this car's coming this way at some point. You just know it. Tom says, not selling this one, haha. Need to actually keep cars more than 3 months. Yes, 3 months this time. Although I've had the TF since December, so that's a record for me. Try and keep one for a year or maybe 2. Thomas. I don't know. Do what you're doing. Do what you're doing, lad, because it's all right. If you don't feel a car, you don't feel a car. Blah blah blah. Rover Joe's talking about something getting gummed up to Matt, which I don't want to go into because it sounds unpleasant. Adam's pollen filter was missing when he went to change it. Explain why it didn't seem to be filtering anything. So basically, you just spent the whole time you're driving the car having hay fever. Gillian Anderson, yes. Simone confirms Gillian Anderson. Oof. Rover Joe refers to Hubnut as Hubman. And then Simone says Karen from Bananarama. Oh, yeah, Bananarama were quite. When I was like, I wasn't even a teenager when they were famous. I was small. As you would have been. So you and I are the same age, Simone. Yeah, but I remember Bananarama being very. It's like, and you looked at Bananarama 10 years after they were famous, and you were like, ooh, didn't spot that when I was 8. Simon's saying something to other people. Rover Joe says, have you seen the illustrations that I've recently been doing? I've seen some. I'm behind on many things, one of which is looking at social media. But I shall catch up, young Joe. Pingu says, probably slightly alluringly, Gillian and Penny. There's a nice image to end the live with. Thanks, Rob. Feel better, mate. I do. Just thinking of that, I feel, my God, I'm going to go and run a 5K now. Easy. No, I'm not. I never run a 5K, even if I'm feeling fantastic. Hashtag Hub Mullet. It's a mullet. When Hub Mullet interrupted Simon and me at Gaydon when we were trying to film a serious video, I was stunned. I was stunned by the mullet. Jesus. I mean, is it now a fashionable haircut again? I don't know. I don't give a flying fuck about fashionable haircuts, and I haven't done ever. Partly because it's beyond my control, partly because I just don't really give a flying fuck about most things. But I was stunned by the mullet. Yeah. Although Mrs. Hubnut or Miss Hubnut or whatever her name is found it hilarious that Norman had dipped Ernest in a tub of primer with a robot. There you go. Fun. People find strange things funny. Matt's not seen this. So we all need to look at Rover Joe's illustrations. The best place to look, I think, is Instagram Joe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Simon's t-shirt from Simone arrived today. Which means hopefully mine will arrive tomorrow, because I think I ordered mine on the same day as Simon, but just possibly later in the day. And I'm looking forward to making that. We're making it. I'm not making a t-shirt. I can't make t-shirts. Wearing it, and it's in beards and bangers size as well. So when I finish with it, people can use it as a tent or whatever they fancy. Blah 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 blah. Tom says, "True. Hopefully, Katie. I think Katie's stuck, isn't it? So my 75, my new from Tom, 75 Connoisseur SE 2.0 CDTI is called Katie. There we are. We've achieved something on this live stream. Hopefully, Katie will find the 75 will find its way back to me. It was very sad when it disappeared on the back of an Iveco. Car, if that car wants to come back to you, it will. But so far, most of your cars want to come to me. So we'll see what happens, Tom, once I get it cleaned up and fixed up. And it's not a bad car. Tom hasn't sold me a pup at all. It's there'll be some more videos on my channel, of course, on my channel on here. This is my channel. As I get it back into Fine Fettle once Austin's done his bit. Simon's saving Simone's t-shirt for tomorrow. Simon reports that Norman managed to not mention the mullet. It's not nice to mock the afflicted. And then Mark asks, is Hubnut still bearded? Yes, but the mullet is dominant. Still bearded, the mullet is dominant. Imagine me growing a mullet. How... God, fuck. I mean, I can't, for one, because I've got this bit missing here. But, you know. You're right. And Joe confirms Instagram is the best place to look at Joe's illustrations. I did see one yesterday. I liked it. It was it was definitely a FOTU inspired one. Rover Joe might grow one. Grow what? Oh, mullet. Mullet phase. And Simon almost blasphemes by saying 2026 year of the mullet. No, because 2026 we haven't decided yet. We need to consult with the Dark Monks and see what happens. And Matt would like to see, Joe, a 5-door streetwise illustration. Well, do you know what? It's 11 o'clock nearly. And Adam's actually had some time on here, which was a great surprise. So is Rover Joe. It has been stop on about mullets. I don't want to see mullet written in this live stream anymore. If you haven't already smashed the like button, please do so. Yeah, Joe, send the link to your Instagram before I wrap this up so people can see it and click on it. Please do that now, Joe. Now. No, now. Oh, the link didn't. Maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't allow you to do that. There's no need to be like that, Joe. Saying people disabled. Jesus. And Matt wittily says, we don't discuss 70s haircuts on this channel. No, we don't. Thank you, one and all, for being here. Yes, Adam, one day you will catch one of these from the start. Maybe we should send you a message beforehand, just to give you like a 4-hour warning. We know what you students are like. But thank you. This has been very enjoyable. I thought I was going to last about half an hour, to be honest. About 4 o'clock this afternoon, I was like, ooh. But now I'm okay. And that's because I've been buoyed by you lot. So thank you for watching. Continue to watch. If you haven't hit like already, hit that bloody like button. Yeah, share the stuff. Keep in touch. You know where I am on Facebook and mobile telephones and all that kind of bullshit. See you soon. Goodbye.